Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Engineering the Markets. My name is Jared, and it is January 18th, 2022. So welcome back from our extended weekend. Happy MLK Day to everyone from yesterday. And welcome back to a shortened week in the markets. We are in our third
from
full
yesterday.
week inside of 2022. And as always, let's start off our first Engineering the Markets session each and every week with a look at the SPX or the S&P index. Let's take a look at the expected move based on the option market pricing for the week. And let's talk about expectations moving into this week with our catalysts, of which we have earnings season starting up once again. And that'll, of course, bring some additional volatility for short to medium term trades. Okay, so last week we were looking at an SPX expected move of approximately 76 points. And when we look at some of the performance last week, as marked by these high and low bounds inside of the charting, we can see that the S&P actually achieved this expected movement in both directions. Now, this is sort of a relative first. We haven't seen this in a while. Last real notable instance was the significant low that was made in December. We saw pretty much a 2 to 3 day rally back to the top side. And of course, we did have an expected move breach inside of that trading session, not only with a close above, but a weekly close outside of the trading range. So last week's volatility was notable, but more so than that, I wanted to just comment on the overall movement inside of the markets relative to where we started. And this can often just be seen with the previous weekly close compared to the weekly close of last week. And when you look at sort of the distance between these two, obviously with the volatility in between, there's a lot of price activity going on that is both attractive from a day trading perspective, but can lead to a lot of uncertainty. Basically, couple of sessions, it looks as if we have bottomed overall. Looks like we're headed for new all-time highs. And then, of course, the market makes a sharp turn against that setup, essentially selling into the recovery bounce. And then, once again, not necessarily breaking to new lows, but finding itself trading essentially mid-range on the week to close out last week. So lots of volatility packed into a simple week, but additionally, the lack of directional bias has been sort of the respective inflection upon the market, or the introspection that's been inferred. We're also seeing that even though this week is a shortened week, we only have 4 trading sessions, we're starting off with an expected move of about 86 points, which is notable due to the fact that we started last week with a shorter expected move. We also saw that the market was able to achieve this overall trade, or this range inside of this pricing. And yet the market is pricing in more overall implied volatility to start the week, a shortened trading week overall. Now, some of this may be due to what is starting to be priced in for earnings. That can have sort of an overall effect on the pricing model of the SPX. You want to be thinking maybe some arbitrage opportunities that are occurring into the earnings season. But additionally, just to note that as we are looking at a shortened week, and as we are seeing the market bounce between quote unquote support and resistance, sort of have inflections at key price levels, and even just looking at psychological levels, you want to be thinking the 4,500, the 46, the 47, and the 48. drawing these sort of whole dollar levels and noticing how the market has been responding back and forth, basically testing and back testing these areas for the past couple of months. It's made overall trading quite challenging for a lot of newer traders, stepping into a market and seeing the bullish behavior from the last year and expecting that same performance, essentially looking for breakouts to have continuation, or essentially not being aware of some of the lower risk to reward that the market is providing whenever these breakouts occur, along with the recovery bounces, which offer good risk to reward, but have not seen the same follow through as of yet. So overall, this market has stayed a bit range bound. And as we start to look at, I'll just bring up the ES futures, we obviously can start to form some thesis ideas about the structure of the market as we continue to find ourselves trapped between these areas of support and resistance. When I bring up the ES futures, and we'll start here since we are starting the morning with a gap down open, we notice that the S&Ps have been respecting a relative trend line anchored from the December 3rd low and seen more clearly as we are forming new swing lows in this market, albeit not necessarily breaching previous lows. This volatility facilitates some of this price action, but additionally, when we're looking short term, we're also seeing the market form at the beginning of this year a downtrending resistance line. And this forms what is essentially the basis for a potential breakout, albeit not necessarily biased towards the upside. We're seeing the beginning formations of a compression event in the market. And when we talk about things like compression, we often want to refer to the VPOC, the market's VPOC, the trading range's VPOC. Really, these higher level concepts are something of a gauge for the market, but seeing this type of compression occur and understanding that the market's trading has been occurring in this tight range over the past couple months, whatever breakout signal we do see, we need to understand that we may be seeing the beginnings of a much larger move about to form. Now, short term, of course, we want to respect the structure that is in front of us. You buy some aspect of these swing lows looking for the type of follow through that we've been getting. And these, of course, not only minimize your downside risk, but they also give you the best overall range to potentially trade through, with our December 20th low being the most significant, seeing not only a higher low, but also new all-time highs. You also want to consider the same idea as the market has essentially stalled at the beginning of this year, and short-term considering selling certain pullbacks against the overall trend that is starting to form in the daily time frame. We're seeing the lower high formation. We're waiting to see the new swing low will be made. And as we start to bring up things like daily moving averages, you can see that selling into what is now becoming a bit of resistance has been a short-term opportunity back to the downside. This compression, however, is likely to break within the next approximately week or so. Markets often do not get more compressed without testing or breaching either the most recent swing highs or the most recent swing lows. And that can often force, depending on the type of compression that's occurred, a much larger overall decision to be made. You want to be thinking, if every trading activity has occurred within this shortened trading range, and as this range gets tighter and tighter, volatility starts to also get compressed. It's essentially a coil that's building with energy. And just like any pattern-based trading, once you breach these areas, especially with the volume signal to initiate a move, that can lead to much larger expansion of range in the direction that is chosen. Now, obviously, that decision has not quite been made in the S&Ps. I would argue that we are still holding our trend line support. Today, we could easily see this gap down open, be recovered. We can be looking for another short-term opportunity back to the top side, of which we'll want to watch our top side retracement line and downtrending resistance. What makes this structure, or sorry, wrong ticker there. What makes this so interesting is the sort of push and pull we've been seeing past couple of weeks inside of, I'll just say, growth versus inflation, or tech versus financials and energy, the Nasdaq versus the S&Ps as a whole. And when I bring up the NQ futures, sort of the complementary picture to the S&Ps, we can see that the Nasdaq structure looks nothing like the S&P overall. Not only do we have some additional weakness inside of the Nasdaq, you want to be thinking things like the moving averages have already begun to cross and are starting to look a bit more short to medium term bearish, at the very least to bring us down potentially into the 200. But you also want to note that the most recent swing highs and lows, once again anchored off of the December 3rd low, have provided a widening overall trading range. Essentially, a lot of people refer to this as a bit of a megaphone pattern, or just an expanding trading range, one that doesn't have essentially as clear high and low structure, nor does it have a rising or compressing trend line pattern inside to break out of this range. And this type of volatility is, once again, quite challenging because you see the market continue to breach these technical levels of support and resistance. And then without a lack of follow through, each of these becomes false breakouts in either direction. You want to be looking at things like the December 28th high, where the market breached previous swing highs after a low was set and a bounce occurred. Lack of follow through here leading to a complete reversal, breaking swing lows that form the swing high, and then of course a most recent bounce, which so far has been a fairly short retracement in the overall downswing. For the fib traders among us, this is looking more and more like a rejection off of the 50% retracement, at the very least bringing us back to test our most recent swing lows. So all these structures here are forming the case that this market is still caught. There is volatility captured between the push and pull dynamics of market outflow or market capital leaving tech, leaving growth. And I'll bring up sort of a classic ETF case of ARK-K, the precipitous sell-off that we're seeing in a lot of these ETF products, these higher market cap and multiple type names. These larger outflows, larger sell-offs, are forcing other companies that are held within these ETFs, along with our general growth and tech structures, starting to basically see a bit of headwind in regards to their continued bullish nature. And it provides a stall. It provides a moment in time where the market is indecisive and the ranges become sort of your guide as to whether or not the downside volatility will continue, or will we continue to see this ping pong type action, this back and forth of buying certain dip signals, selling certain pullback retracements, or even selling things like new all-time highs, hedging against downside risk as the market continues to not be bullish or bearish, but to trade in this trading range. Now, as we dig a little deeper, some notes for today. Crude has made a new relative high inside of the morning session. We are getting some news outside of Russia. I've not dug into that news quite yet, but as we know, energy is an area of focus for the market. Energy has been essentially our lead bull sector ever since the beginning of this year. And when we're talking about performance in the energy sector, I'll bring up just a filter for year-to-date performance, and I'll change this into a percentage return. We're looking at an ETF that has gained approximately 13% year-to-date. You compare that to some of our other major sectors. Take off some of these studies, and you look at relative performance year-to-date. You start to see that tech down almost 5%, maybe a little bit more at the beginning of this session. Healthcare, which has been having some recovery bounces, but overall has been having trouble recovering from its sell-off, down almost 4%. And then XLF, another lead bull sector with a bit of volatility packed in based on the earnings season, starting back up approximately 3%. So our large overall sectors seeing this volatility, this push and pull back and forth. Know that in a market like this, there are factors that can be risk in regards to certain sectors being performers, certain sectors being underperformers. There is trading strategy revolving around how to trade each of those types of setups. Of course, you know, the most simple being, if you're in a downtrend, expect the downtrend to continue until you see the right signals for basing or reversal structures. If you're in an uptrend, buying pullbacks, expecting new swing highs, looking for outperformance to continue, and these breakout type patterns, the likes of Berkshire as sort of our lead financial bull to showcase how strong this area of the market has been. Stocks like Oxy, which are great intraday traders, seeing the outperformance both on a swing basis along with intraday, the type of range expansion we're getting as we get new swing highs. Essentially expecting these to continue until the market gives us the right signals that the fun is over. And just kind of looking at my time here. Last but not least, just kind of reiterating on what's been working and what has not. As I pull up the 10-year Treasury note, we are breaching to new lows as of this morning. So be fully aware that we should see a gap up open in the TNX, which has started to print as of this time. That means that we have, once again, new relative highs inside of the 10-year interest rate. And of course, the downside volatility in products like TLT and things like IEF, which is sort of a 7 to 10-year blend, very similar to the TLT, but shorter duration products. These are all making either retests of the relative lows or new swing lows overall, forcing more volatility back into tech and growth type sectors. So what's been working this year is essentially the start of year has signaled a lot of larger movement. The beginning of the year, this year-to-date performance, and expecting this continuation to occur until we see much more, I would say, decisive signals that the opposite may take effect. For example, the 10-year signaling bearish at the beginning of the year, the S&Ps struggling, but seeing some of that relative strength inside of financials and energy. The likes of IWM, which has been struggling to hold its trading range support. And as we start to look at where we sit in this morning session, we are sitting at both negative percentage performance year to date, along with back at our relative swing lows. So once again, if we're going to step into volatility, step in such a way that you understand you are trying to change the tide of the market for the bulls, and the bulls have to prove outside of these larger structures that they can make an advance in this market. Otherwise, we remain a bit indecisive, not necessarily bearish at this point in time, but understand that the market is shifting amidst a larger indecisive trading range. And as this shift occurs, the decision that's going to be made potentially this week or maybe moving into next week is going to be an impactful one for the market. Not because we need that decision to be made, but because of the type of volatility compression that's been occurring over the past couple of months. Markets have been trading here, building up energy, basically, I would say, perpetuating risk. And whichever decision is made, that breach or that breakout is going to be an impactful one moving forward for the next couple months. So let's move into this week with that open mind discussion, that open mind perception of the market. We are in earnings season, as I mentioned. If we're looking at things like the S&P 100, we're talking about things like Bank of New York Mellon, Goldman Sachs. Ignore this Facebook. This is an issue with the platform. You also might want to look at stocks like Schwab. Which did have its earnings coming out before market open, along with looking ahead into the rest of the week, as we do have one of our larger names coming out with earnings, the likes of Netflix on Thursday, sort of kicking off the tech segment of earnings. And I think a lot of eyes on Netflix to kind of get a sense of the type of, I would say, appetite for growth as we move into the following week, where we see stocks like Microsoft, Tesla, Intel, for example, to kind of capture some of the semiconductor performance. And then, of course, Apple, Microsoft and Apple being our two key players for next week. So earnings season is among us again. Lots of things to focus on. This market is giving us volatility, both as intraday traders, as swing, as index sort of analysts, and across different asset classes as well. That correlative nature really taking effect with rising interest rates. So all this said, trade safe. We'll look at this a bit more tomorrow. We'll sort of refine some strategy to take advantage of a market that continues to be a bit range bound, but understand that these strategies might eventually break apart as the market eventually makes a decision. And once that decision is made, we need to go back to our toolbox and find the strategy that works best for the market that we are offered. So as always, we'll talk more then. Trade safe, stay tuned for pre-market prep, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to Pre-Market Prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an amazing long weekend, 3-day weekend. So hopefully that was a good one. Norm, good morning, my friend. How are you today?
Good morning, brother. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing
I'm
good.
happy to be back. Missed you guys.
Yeah, yeah. We're glad to have you back, man. You were off on Thursday and Friday. I remember that. So we
No, I
haven't
wasn't
seen you
off. I was
actually
sick.
in some time, and hopefully you're feeling a lot better, man. Hopefully that
Yeah,
three-day
I'm feeling
weekend
better, man.
was
Two,
good.
3 days kicked my butt.
Hmm.
I'll tell you this though. I'm glad to have it over with. Uh,
Yeah,
and I would take the 2009. I would take it over the 2009 swine flu any day of the week.
absolutely,
It was
absolutely.
that was miserable for me, and this was not quite as bad. Now that having been said, we're not dealing with the same thing we were a year and a half, 2 years ago. So
It's a whole different animal. I
it's
agree.
a different beast.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. Glad to have you back, man. Glad that you're doing well. Guys, let's get into this morning. Jared went through a couple of things here today. So let's give him a thumbs up, guys, over on YouTube. He appreciates it very, very much. And it does help out the channel. So if you could slam that thumbs up, thank you so much. We want to get around 250, 300. So that would be great. We're sitting at 52. So thank you guys for the support. Guys, happy Tuesday. Let's get into it. Let's look at our gappers list this morning. So far, not so much in the green today. As you know, the market's a little bit on the downside this morning. We'll get into that in just a sec. And you can
Unless you're into
see
video games,
exactly. I'm looking at. I just noticed that ATVI, EA, Roblox, which my daughter helps the cause here every time she asks me, Dad, can I get $10 for Roblox points or dollars or whatever? TTWO, all gaming stuff. So
skills. Yeah.
it skills gaming as well. Okay, I wasn't sure about that one.
Uh, yeah, it's loosely. It's not quite the same as the others, but yes.
Yep, yep. So yeah, definitely got something going on there, guys. In the game, we'll get into that in a second. And then obviously the market overall is down, and you're seeing that. I think every stock you have traded last year might be already in here. It,
Yeah,
it will.
looks
It
like
looks like it's in
it.
there. Yeah, yeah. So we're not gonna go through that, but let's take a look at the overall market today, and then we'll come back in and see what we can pull
Yeah, I
off
mean,
this
we're
list.
getting slammed. Bank earnings have been coming in so far. They started Friday. Weaker than expected. Goldman Sachs announced this morning, and they were weaker than expected, and they're down a bit. Big news is 10-year Treasury yields popping pretty hard. So that's that. And then we had the Empire State Manufacturing Index come out just a moment ago, Home Builders Index at 10 a.m. The reason we are getting what we have in the green for the most part is ATVI is being acquired by Microsoft, and they are currently halted. Um, Rumor snuck out about that a few minutes before the halt. They popped up. They've been halted since that news has come out. They did put the price tag on it. I think it was um, I 60 some odd billion, 68, 69 billion.
Hmm, hmm.
And then everything else that's over there, EA, Roblox, Skills, TTWO, uh, all moving in sympathy with that buyout. So
Yeah, that is a big big situation for ATVI, guys. Look at this 64, 65 early today, sitting at 90. So
yeah,
again, that is great news for them. Obviously partnering with such a big company. So we'll see how that's going to go out today. Um, all right, let's take a look here, guys, at our gappers list today. Let's start
give me a
with
moment, Carlos.
yeah,
I
yeah.
Whenever there's a holiday weekend, my trash day is on Tuesday. I forget that it's trash day, so I've got to take that out because I am like the first person in my city that they pick up trash for, and if I
Right,
don't take
right.
it out, it'll be another week.
You'll be
I'll
screwed.
be right
Go
back.
for it, man. Go for it. No worries. All right. As Norm takes out the trash and hopefully all the garbage trays go with him on the garbage takeout. Let's take a look at our gappers list this morning. Starting with ATVI, we'll start there. That is looking great. Let's remove this list. Control A, Control X, guys, gets rid of this and gives you a nice clean watch list here to get going. ATVI this morning, obviously in play. It'll be interesting to see how this is going to trade. I mean, this is a big move already, man. I can't wait to see how that's going to look. So definitely play ATVI. Then we got the sympathy moves here. Roblox, I know you guys like, and this was actually doing pretty good here, up 6%, a thousand. I'm sorry, not a thousand. 1 million shares traded almost. So could be a good one for a possible EA Sports. What we got going on here, man? These all I'm just gonna add them all here. They're all looking very good. EA, we barely hear from EA, but today look at that move they're getting there, up nicely this morning. TTWO, this is probably my least favorite, so I'm not gonna add this one, but I will keep EA, I will keep Roblox, and I will keep ATVI. That's the one with the news today, and some possible sympathy plays there. GSK, we've seen this before, doesn't trade very well. What's up? Up 2.2, was up even higher earlier this morning. Right now, 426,000. Just not a whole lot going on for it. I just don't like the way this thing trades, especially after the bell breaks out. DWAC. I know you guys been looking at DWAC. DWAC so far, the daily does look interesting for a possible breakout continuation here. So I could see that happening there on the daily. It does look good. I'm not a big fan of it, but I think you guys are, right? Give me a shout here in the chat if you do like DWAX. I want to see how many people actually watch this one. We'll keep it on deck if that's the case, but we'll put it on there. Skills is back on here. Skills also active. We'll also throw that on there. We'll see where that goes today. All right, guys. Gapping down, we have our challenges here. There's a whole lot of stuff going on here. Start with UL this morning. This is down 9, almost 10% there. 845,000 shares traded. So big drop for them. Normally their volume is extremely light, guys. You can see that here. This is 2.5 million shares traded per day on the daily. And you can see for the most part, they don't get a whole lot of volume, right? So I don't like stocks that don't trade heavy volume throughout the day.
This is trash.
It is, yeah. So I don't even know what the news is.
It's Unilever. It's a conglomerate out of household products out of the UK. Massive float, 2.5 billion shares, just not worth it.
Now that you mentioned the name, I know exactly who these guys are because their headquarters is not too far from here in NJ, and they are huge, man. Everything's made by these guys, I think. And when it comes to household products, GPS here, they are down 7%, 101,000 shares traded. Another one that doesn't trade well, retail company. Are they doing earnings? No, the earnings not today. So I know earnings are starting up, but this was not on there. I'm not sure why they're down. Maybe it's just overall market stuff. But again, it just doesn't look great here. I'm here because you're a fan of DWAC. All right, all right, Jack Flash. We'll keep DWAC there for you. Here's Baba. Baba looks good this morning. Norm, I know you've been liking Baba quite a bit here. You've been kind of more shorting the pops on this thing.
Yeah, for the most part.
For the most part, right? Today they look very active. I like their range. Looks like some fun might be over here. Nice little drop. Not over because we know Baba can bounce back pretty nicely, but losing this area here today. So.
There's some news. U.S. government concerns over their cloud unit. So they're looking into that, but I believe they're also supposed to be reporting this morning. So I have not seen that come out yet. Usually Chinese companies are super early because of the time difference, but I haven't seen anything. So I don't know.
We'll see what happens there. Yeah, so Baba looks good, guys. I like the pre-market on it. I'm going to keep it on here. MT is a foreign stock. I'm going to skip on it. They had a big pop last week. Remember you guys mentioning this one, and it's coming back down a little bit here, but not a fan. AU, also not a big fan of this one. GS doesn't trade very well, but they got a nice drop this morning, down 4%, 183,000. Any of the banking stocks? I mean, this is Goldman Sachs, right? But the banking stocks doing anything? No, for the most part, they're not doing a whole lot.
So people are asking about the halt on ATVI.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
It's a news halt. We don't have volatility halts in the pre-market or aftermarket, only during market hours. That was a news halt. Usually they notify the exchange that they're going to have news and to be halted. Exchange halts them. Then they release the news, and then they release a time at which it will later be open. It's usually, half an hour-ish after the news comes out. Not always. It is scheduled to open at 8:50 Eastern. So that's when ATVI will reopen. I don't think there'll be a whole lot of anything too exciting going on there. I mean, it's almost to the $95 price that we saw. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's gone,
It'll
guys.
probably pop up a little
Yeah.
bit, maybe to $94 or something,
Well,
93.
you know what this is going to be? It's going to be so wild and almost difficult to trade for the way we trade at first. We'll see. We could be wrong,
Well, I
but
mean,
it's just
it should be boring.
yeah. It's just what I'm
It
saying.
should
Initially, you're
almost
going to get
immediately
those.
pop to right
Yeah,
under. Well, I don't even think you'll get that. It'll probably just
yeah,
pop to like 93, $94 and sit there. So
yeah.
anyway,
So, so careful on that one, guys. Now the other ones here: Roblox, EA, the
yeah,
R,
they'll be
and
in play for
Sympathy
sure.
Move. These guys, and this is good news for them, right? A company like that being bought out by such a major company.
Yeah.
This is good for them. So, all right, guys, let's see what else we have here. GS, we just looked at. Again, not sure what's happening here. They're down 4.2 on 184. You can watch this. I'm not a big fan of this one. mRNA today, they are down 3.5, 128,000. I hope we can find better. Hold on. Well, I know IonQ is not going to be it, though. I'll tell you that much. So IonQ right now, 3.7, 150,000. PLTR. No, I don't see anything great there. AMC this morning down 3.1, 443,000. I don't know. Am I being too picky? I'm not seeing. It's a lot here, but I'm not seeing anything like I really, really like. Rivian, I'm not a fan of the price action at the bell. Lucid, let's see here. Lucid's starting to get some volume. I do like the way Lucid trades. Maybe we'll keep that one on there. SoFi for the most part, no, it looks pretty quiet right now. JD, I have Baba. I'd rather trade that one 10 times. CHPTs is kind of EV play, right? This is charge point. Going size right now, 2.5, 115,000. Not, I don't know, man. It's a lot on here, but not a lot actually looks great once you start looking at it. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong or if I'm being too picky here, but I'm not seeing anything all that exciting right now.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Right?
I'm with you.
Let's take it to the room. Do you have anything you want to watch, Norm, this morning?
I think, have you looked at Microsoft? I mean, they are the acquirer
Yeah, I
of that
should look at that.
ATVI
Yeah,
deal. I think they'll be in play.
yeah.
One of these video game stocks. I don't know if you looked at mRNA. That's interesting. A study out of Israel saying even a fourth shot doesn't prevent Omicron. They'll probably get something on that. Still like Baba. So.
Yeah, I got Bob, I got Microsoft. Yeah, let's see. Let's see. How about Apple and these other tech companies? They doing anything? They're just kind of slightly down with the overall market. I'm gonna definitely watch Apple. That one's good. We'll keep an eye on that. See how that turns out today. All right, let's take it here to the chat room, guys. Let's see what you guys have this morning. Starting with scroll up and we'll start with Frosty. We looked at AMC. I didn't see anything great on it. AMC is one of these stocks that we had one initial kind of not breakout, but some noise was made last week, the week before. I can't remember, and then it just kind of died down, right? Alongside GameStop. What was that gap up? I can't even see it now. It was like a gap up or something. It was not in December. It was this year. Might have been this. It might have been this day. You see, nothing really happened. It was this day here, I believe. It gapped up. Then from there, sold off, went sideways, sell off on last week. You're looking at it now. It's just there's not a whole lot going on for it. I'm hoping we can find something better. Microsoft is good. We have that one. TTWO is another gaming company. Yes, it is. Out of all of these, though, I think that's the one I like the least. Just because how spready and how choppy it can be at times. Just the spread and the whole price action is a little bit more difficult. Today might be completely different though, right? With everything going on. So no, I'll add it here just for you. But I do have EA, I do have Roblox, and obviously ATVI. We'll see what that does after it opens up here. Heading down, Baba, we have Chris. You're giving us AMD as well. Yes, I think AMD is good also. I think we've been watching AMD, Apple, Nvidia, and some of these other tech companies almost all week last week, right? And we had some pretty decent days at times. So you can watch either one. I'm gonna keep it AMD as possible. We can always move it up if things get a little bit better there. OJ, you're giving us Oxy. What's up with Oxy? Oxy, there's not much going on. It's crawling higher here, but again, the daily looks nice for a possible continuation. But not anything crazy. Now, you cannot put a lot of weight into this pre-market activity because at the market open they can get moving. So I won't put too much weight on that there. All right, see what else we
Yeah,
have, guys.
oil's up 2% this morning, causing that. So
Yeah, yeah. mRNA we looked at earlier. Again, it's pretty much flat, really. I mean, we're down slightly. It could be interesting as things, kind of are not as critical as everybody's just kind of getting somewhat sick and surviving, right? I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. mRNA there. Heading down, what do we have? Ford. Yes, let's look at Ford because Ford continues to break new highs, right? It's been doing pretty decent there. So this morning, volume 1.6 million at the moment. Daily looks interesting. You have to wait for the market open really to see how Ford is going to trade. We can take a look at it a little bit later. But that one's been interesting. JP Morgan reported Friday. Thank you, David from Connecticut. How did they do on Friday? JPM. Ooh,
yeah,
not so well. Not so
but
well.
he has a good point that it's a lot easier to trade than Goldman, and it's still in play
Yeah,
from Friday. So
I agree. Looks much better as well. Goldman Sachs I just don't like the way that thing moves. Yeah, man, this is a big drop on JP Morgan. Let's put that on there. AMD, we have Space. Space was active last week. We had that nice drop there. I just think you're gonna get some more sideways action, kind of like you did here, right? It seems like every time you get a decent drop, just kind of go sideways for a little bit. So we might see some more of that. I mean, we're at what all-time lows, I believe, on this thing. I mean, we haven't been down here
oh
in
yeah,
quite
well,
some
I mean
time. Well, not
it
all
was
time, but yeah.
lower before it SPAC announcement, its merger announcement, whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah,
I mean around $10 is the lowest it's been right in that area.
yeah, it's pretty weak right now, guys. Again, I just think here you just gonna have a battle back and forth now. We gotta wait for the next gap up or gap down to take advantage like we did here. This is a very, very nice day. So I think it's just gonna get a lot of sideways action now for that one. Michael, you're giving us ANGA this morning. No. ZNGA. Okay. This was a low flow that was active last time, right? Yeah, we had this a couple of weeks ago. Nice pop there.
Zynga,
Sold off.
Zynga's not a low float.
Not a low flow, but lower price. You're right. I don't think it's a low flow. We had this on the
It's
risky
over a
list.
billion share
Yeah,
float.
yeah.
This is
Um,
garbage.
yeah, this was fun here, guys. We had some good. I mean, look at the volume, right? We had some good trading on this day here because the volume. That's really it. I don't know if you're gonna get anything today. It's not looking great this morning. So, Michael, just be careful. You're gonna be watching that one. Nvidia, you can watch. There's nothing really over explosive on these tech companies right now, right? I mean, you look at Apple, you look at AMD. They all look about the same. They're down slightly. So we'll have to wait to the market open to see how that overall market is going to trade. But there's no news on any of these, not that I'm aware of. So just FYI on that. ATBI pop, new pop, or did it get released? No. It just okay, yeah, that
No,
that
it
pop.
will,
Yeah,
and it will be in 30 seconds. But
yeah,
like I said, I don't think it's going to be very interesting. Maybe for about 20 seconds as the price adjusts, and then it's just going to
yeah,
be flat.
yeah. Okay, PFE. I see a couple of you guys throwing out PFE. We'll come back to this for here. PFE right now. Pretty quiet, guys. Pretty quiet. XOM. I know that could be up this morning because oil's up a little bit. So XOM is looking interesting. You can look at this one. I think I'm gonna put Oxy as a possible. I'm gonna fine tune this list. Obviously, we got a lot here. We'll go with Oxy for now, and we'll see how that's gonna play out there. So yeah, Oxy is good. Uh, what else?
I missed you guys.
All right, I think we're set, guys. Take it to our YouTube chat this morning, guys. What do you guys like this morning? Lance, you're giving us BA. Let's take a look at BA here. I like BA. It trades very well. Right now, pretty flat, pretty quiet for the most part. I think we might need to wait for the market open again. I don't think it's really in play on its own right now, and there is no earnings for this until January 26th, right? So that'll be interesting there for sure. ATVI we do have on deck, so that's good. Seems a bit high, Jack. Rivian, Rivian. I'm the worst to look at Rivian because I seen it uh, at the open a couple of times, and I just don't like the way the price action moves on this. And I'm right now we're not seeing anything explosive. What I do like though, if you were to like something on this, is you're slamming against this area that has been support for some time here, almost what a week or so, a couple of days there. So if we lose that, maybe you're looking to dip a little bit lower, right? So that on the daily does look interesting, which is not a good look for them because they just opened up and we're well below that now. You know what? That could be interesting, man, for a short if it can lose that. That could be interesting. I know somebody mentioned this before. That could be something there actually. Um, all right, let's take a look at what else we have, guys. I think that's all you guys have over on YouTube. All right, very good. Let's go over to announcements, guys. Let's go there and see our community events what's coming up, and then we'll come back and fine tune this list. As you know, it's a lot on this list, but we'll fine tune it to make it a little bit nicer.
All right, guys. It's the first day of the week. We'll just do a quick rundown. We'll see if you Carlos, you're doing onboarding tonight at 7:00, right?
Yeah. So tonight will be at 7 p.m. Eastern time. That's correct.
Yeah, 7:00. Usually that's on Mondays, then followed by technology at 8 p.m. Swing trading on Monday afternoons. We'll see if Brian pops in today to discuss swing trade ideas this afternoon. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, you've got Eamon's trade reviews at noon and success webinars Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Psychology webinars, usually at 8 p.m. on Wednesday. Thursdays, mentoring with Andrew at 11, after hours with Ed at 4:30, and Thor at 8 p.m. And then our new edition on Thursday is the new trader Q&A at 1 p.m. John's been doing that. And crypto with Jared at 11 a.m. Next slide. There we go. All right. Thor tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, is going to be talking about tape reading. And then next Tuesday is going to be Peter at 8 p.m. talking about a day-to-day plan to start your trading journey, especially for the newer traders in the group. Psychology. This says 8 p.m. The website says 8 p.m. Mike had a little bit of a conflict, guys. So tomorrow night, the psychology webinar will be starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So just make a note of that. He's going to be talking about building your trading confidence with a solid pre-market routine. And then next week at 5 p.m., note her special time because of her time zone, Credo will be talking about decoding your trading challenges, fear of taking or holding a trade. If you have not checked it out, be sure to check out stocktradingsimulator.com. It is a free web-based replay simulator. You do not have to sign in or download any software. You can just go check it out. And if you'd like to, down at the bottom right, you can put your email in. We will not sell it or spam you, and you'll get emails from Simon and Eamon about some homework assignments and such to practice in the simulator. If you're watching on YouTube, haven't been in the chat, go to barebulltraders.com, scroll down, see that test drive now button. If you'd like to do the intro membership, that is a non-recurring one-time payment. If you use the promo code premarket24, you can get a discount on that. It lasts 7 calendar days, 5 trading days in the room. Also, we have our winter sale going on, 40% off the Elite annual membership. You'll gain access to all of those webinars, past, present, and future, that I was describing a moment ago.
Oh, right. It's so funny. I thought it was Monday, so I'm laying back. I'm having my coffee. I'm like, okay, Crater's coming up next, and I forget it is Tuesday. So no Crater today, guys. Don't go crazy without Crater, but we will have it tomorrow. All right. Let's get to it. So fine tune this list here. ATVI. Okay, so it is opened up. Let's see if it does anything fun.
Sitting there.
Right, just be careful, guys. Just sitting there, you're gonna see crazy volume going through this, but it might not just do anything. So ATVI, we'll take a look at it. Baba this morning, I do like Baba quite a bit, guys. I do like this drop we're getting here. I like the price action we're seeing in the pre-market, so that's nice. And I also love the daily, so Baba is good for me. We'll keep that on there. Lucis pre-market action is a little bit on the choppier side. I think these guys are going to get volume. I think they can be very explosive. We're sitting right at an interesting level on Lucid right over here. There's 41. It might be just 41, right? You see the areas of resistance and support. That could be interesting on there. So we'll keep Lucid for now. Microsoft looking very good here. You definitely got some great volume on Microsoft. This pre-market action, probably one of the most exciting you've seen out of Microsoft, for the most part. So that looks good. Apple, insane volume, guys. I know we're not moving much, but we got 2.2 million on this thing. So definitely want to keep an eye on that and just kind of see how the overall tech sector is doing here. JP Morgan will be the banking stock I'll watch today. Possibles, we have Oxy, which might actually replace ATVI for me. Might actually replace that because I think Oxy could have some potential today. And we have Roblox here moving very well. EA also, EA looks good here on the pre-market as well. DWAG for the most part. Again, just the daily looks good on this. The volume is not coming in. It might come in later at the market open. We do not have shares for short on this one. I'm just going to remove it for now, guys. SKLZ. Again, we got the gaming stocks here. We'll see how that goes. I mean, they're kind of dropping a little bit now. I'm definitely going to wait to see how the market opener is going to treat these stocks and see if we can start closing. Like, for example, this gap here will be nice on TTWO. We'll see if that happens. AMD is okay. mRNA and Ford. Ford will be fun to watch. How many we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 here. I think that's good enough. ATVI, let's look at the 1 minute on ATVI, guys, right? Let's just look what's happening here. Just how do you trade something like this?
You just take it off your watch list.
Yeah, exactly. You just there's nothing happening here. So I'm gonna remove this one. I think I want to move even the EA. By the time I start trading, I'll have to see how that's gonna settle down. I'd rather move like an Oxy, guys, just to keep an eye on that. That is oil, see how things are going there. I'll move that up instead, and we'll see how if anything else comes up that might be interesting. But right now is Baba. Let's do levels here. Baba this morning, low of the pre-market, we are looking at 125.10. So slam a level there towards the bottom, guys, over here. Good area, 117.80. Again, it's far down, but Baba can move. If it starts heading in one direction with some decent volume, you can get these moves very easily, right? Look at it here. Look at another big move here, white candle. See, there's another white candle here, another wide candle there. So you can get some good moves on Baba. Not sure if that's going to happen today. In here, guys, we do have an area, again, not the best daily, but over here, 122.48, you have a lot of days opening, closing right around this area. So this was previous, previous day close. This was previous day close. Yeah, that sounds good. So again, we'll see. That is a better target than this 117 if we do decide to sell off and lose this low of the pre-market. Towards the top, guys, plenty. Highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, you are set there. Let's take a look at Lucid. Lucid right now, also that 41.10, interesting level for them. They're just hanging out. Pre-market is not explosive right now, guys. We need to wait for this one for the market open. Again, this is more of a possible. We have it here because nothing else looks all that better. Besides EA, maybe, and TTWO, we might have something there. But yeah, we'll keep Lucid on here. 36.39, a great level there of support. And 40.17, as you can see here, on the low of the pre-market for them this morning. And I got 33.70. I don't think we'll get there, but let's just mark that down. Now towards the top, guys, a lot of congestion in here from the last 2 trading days. So you are pretty much taken care of there. Here's Microsoft. Great volume this morning. Obviously, the news for them of buying this company might be good, right? Because usually when that happens, companies like this tend to drop there. I mean, they did drop.
People are wondering why it's sitting at $89 and the buyout price is cash at $95. It's because it's not scheduled to close for a year. It's not scheduled to close until next year. So if you were to invest in this, you're buying it for $89 and you're getting roughly a 5% return over a year. That's nothing. So, there are people that'll park money there, but you can't expect anything fantastic out of it. You're sure as hell not going to pay $95 for something you're going to get $95 a year from now when inflation's at 7% and your money will be worth, you'll lose money if it just sits at the same price for a year. So
you could put that money to a better use, that's for sure. Microsoft, guys, interesting here. I mean, it's down because the overall tech is down, right? So now you're getting some action because of this this news. Low of the pre-market 345, high of the pre-market looking at 307.48. So we'll put that there. So we'll see how this is going to trade out. Apple this morning, great volume, guys. Going sideways a little bit right now. Yes, we're down 1.4. I mean, the overall tech sector is down. Low of the pre-market 169.58, and we have 168 down here as well. Towards the top, guys, plenty of stuff there. I'm not gonna add anything else and make that more complicated than what it needs to be. JP Morgan, one of the better banks that is trading the pre-market that is trading this morning. If you look at Bank of America, see how that looks. Look at Wells Fargo. Yeah, JP Morgan looks the best today. There's just no question. And as David from Connecticut mentioned, this one had a big drop right on Friday. So a little bit of a continuation maybe today on this thing. So we'll see. Far as levels 155.59, low of the pre-market. In here, you see some support very close to the low of the pre-market. So I'm not going to mark this level down here when I already have this 155.59. Down here, we do have 151.94. Maybe we'll do this one, 154.62. Outside of that, towards the top, guys, you have your high of your pre-market, 158.70. And then out of that, I think you're pretty much set in here. This daily looks a little bit ugly. We can mark down this 160.15. You got a couple of stuff happening there. Nothing major, but you got a couple of things taking place at that price. All right, so that's JP Morgan. Oxy, we'll do this one last. Again, Oxy very strong this morning, up 1.7. Oil is up, and then we can do some levels here. 135, 136.25 towards the top. What do we have here? Do we have anything above this? No, this is at least 52-week highs. You can see there. We have not been up here since looks like 2019. 2019, obviously. Right in here when everything fell apart. So yeah, so it's been a while since we've been up here, guys. Over here, you know, this one is a little bit funny when it comes to levels. I don't think levels work great on a stock like this one, you know, just because a lot it depends on just how the overall oil sector is doing. So I mean, we'll mark 39.61, 43.30. But this is more on, you know, how is that overall sector is going to trade today? I think that's more important. The price action on this is a lot more important than these levels are going to be. So just look at that order flow, see how that's coming in. You know, how's the price action looking? Are we looking strong or something? Pay attention to that when it comes to Oxy. It's a little bit different when it comes to trading that one. All right, outside of this, guys, I think we're pretty much set. Norm, anything you like that might not be on this list yet?
Still looking, brother.
Yep. I see. Oh, we're actually 9:03. We're actually pretty early today, so
We're
no
way
moderators with their yeah. Again, I thought it was Monday, so
What
I
is
kind of
Peter? Chopped liver? He's
no,
got
I
his
see.
watch list up
No,
there.
I see Peter's watch list here. AMD, of course, Apple, Roblox, JP Morgan, secondary, Goldman Sachs, GSK, and Baba. So that's Peter's list there. And then we got a couple IPOs today. We got T. I'm not gonna read that out. Let's not read that out. Let's bring this over here. And there you go. So we have a couple IPOs and one SPAC opening up today. So all right, excellent. Let's what else do we have, guys? We're done pretty early today. Again, it's a lot on here. There's a lot on this gappers list, but it's just not a lot looks great, guys. Even my list is mediocre. I really, if you look at Bob, is probably the best one on my list today. Lucid needs to get going. Microsoft is pushing volume around, but we don't know how good this thing
Somebody
is
on YouTube was bringing up
actually gonna
that
trade.
Lucid lockup has a lockup period expiring tomorrow. I haven't looked up
Oh,
that date. If that's possible,
yeah.
that usually is not. That usually is a negative on the stock price. Not always, but
Yeah, yeah. Usually it does bring it down a little bit. So we'll see how that plays out. We might see some chop today on this. So again, it's not great today, guys. We've seen so much better from Lucid. Microsoft's pushing volume around. Apple's volume today, man, 2.3. I know they're not doing much in the pre-market, but that's some good volume. So I like that one. JP Morgan does look good, and Oxy, we'll see. We just have to see how the open does. So really, Baba and JP Morgan are the two that I really like this morning so far. So we'll see. The rest are just, again, they're pushing volume around, but not a whole lot happening right now. We might need to be we have to be patient after the bell and kind of see what's going on there. Some more moderators coming out with their list. I'll read those out shortly. Let's take a look over at some stuff you guys are throwing out since we do have time. CCL this morning. I don't think CCL is really in play right now. Pretty light on the volume. American Airlines, the travel companies are. American Airlines is interesting, right? We had a drop here below this level of great support that is had. So we'll see. Volume is extremely light on American Airlines, so I don't think it's really in play. Well, what else you guys like that we might have not touched on? Uh, XOM. Yeah, we looked at XOM, but you guys know I'd rather trade Oxy than XOM when it comes to these oil companies. So you can look at XOM. It is in play today, guys. Obviously, things are up slightly this morning. So you can look at XOM. There's some other ones too that you can take a look at. But Oxy is going to be the one for me today. It's usually and again right now it's not really looking great, and they tend not to put a great pre-market activity anyways. You really have to see how the market bell is going to treat this one. Plug doesn't look good. Puppet Master. It definitely is weak. Yeah, no question. It's been weak for some time. I mean, Plugs is it's been collapsing since November here. Has not found any type of support. We're now getting to an area of major support here, right? August, September, October. We saw great support there, so that could be interesting. It's just this stock can be so choppy, and sitting at this support, you might get some chop before you actually get a bounce or a drop here. So that's my concern with Plug, and they just don't trade all that great.
Used
Uh,
to.
yeah, it used to. It was great. This was one of the stocks that this one Neo. There was a whole bunch of stocks that were trading amazing. Even ChargePoint at some time, at some point,
Mhm.
CHPT was also heavily in play. It's just it's the fun has died down a little bit on that. TNA, what's TNA up to? TNA obviously down again. I don't. This is an ETF, guys. I don't put this one on my list. I think this is times three, right? This is leveraged three
Yes.
times. So you, I don't put this on my list, but I'm aware of it. Like if the SPY is doing something crazy, you want to trade something with a little more leverage, you can do this one. Just be very, very careful. Obviously, it's slightly down this morning.
Don't
Um,
bag hold it.
uh, Andrew. By the way, Andrew's got some great interviews over on our YouTube channel, guys. He did an interview with Brian Shannon, which we're a very big fan of. He's an amazing trader. So definitely check it out. It was posted yesterday, and he also did an after hours with Thor. So if you haven't had a chance to take a look at that, please do so. They're both
Good
on our
stuff.
YouTube channel. Some really good information, man. I really like these new segments that they're doing over there in Vancouver. No, me and you probably have to fly down there and do a segment together
Yeah,
when we get a chance. That'll be fun. But yeah, guys, don't miss that out.
I did
It's
one.
what was that? Yeah, you did one. I
Done
haven't
one.
done one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to go do a pre-market, maybe for a pre-market anniversary. We'll do that pre-market show. All right, guys. I think we're
Hell,
pretty
that's
much
next
set here.
week.
That's oh my god. I thought it was in February. No, it's next week.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
think
maybe
it's
we'll.
next week.
You know what? We'll do it when the weather gets better. It's pretty
Yeah.
cold up there.
Deal.
We'll go in the summertime. Guys, let's get you
Yeah,
some watch
with
lists.
COVID and the 5G thing and the airlines saying it's going to disrupt flights, I don't want to fly anywhere in the next 7 days. That's for sure.
It's the 5G thing. Yeah, that's something. Guys, here's the link. Let me put this over on YouTube as well. Here's the YouTube link so you guys can watch that later today after we're done with this show. Check that out. Again, definitely some good information there. Guys, here's the moderators lineup this morning. I gave you Peters already. Here's Mike. Mike is looking at Baba, JP Morgan, and EA. Dima is looking at Microsoft, AMD, Baba, and ATVI. Thor is looking at the market. He's looking at Microsoft, Apple, Roblox, CCL, and NKLA. Tiffany's looking at Microsoft, Baba, EA, and Roblox. And then we'll wait for Andrew. And Andrew's probably waiting for Brian to send his list. He's just going to hit copy and paste on Brian's list.
What's Andrew doing
Here's
up so early?
Yeah, Andrew's up early, guys. He had a probably good night's sleep. Or couldn't sleep and is up all night because he does that sometimes. And actually it trades very well when he does that. Have you noticed that? He does do
What's
good.
that?
That he'll
When
be
he's up
up
all
all
night?
night. Yeah, he'll have an
He
amazing
probably
trading day.
hasn't gone to sleep.
Oh.
Well, so Corey's asking about the 5G and flights. So I get they're unrolling 5G, and I guess it hasn't been around. Well, it makes sense, Andrew.
Okay.
They're unrolling 5G around airports, and 2 weeks ago, the airlines asked for it to be postponed because they are concerned about, I believe, altimeter settings and some other navigational issues, which you don't want your altimeter to be off,
No,
commercial
no.
airplane.
No way.
Yeah, so like Jason said, frequency overlap with radar altimeters, and they're concerned about problems from that. So they got a delay of 2 weeks, but I guess it's going into effect today. They're going to flip the switch they're gonna flip the switch on those 5Gs within, I think it's 2 miles of airports. I haven't dug into it too deep. So
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun. If you see planes coming in short of the runway,
run.
Something's up. Jared's list, guys: Goldman Sachs, Roblox, and Baba this morning. He'll be looking at some growth stocks for any potentially bottoming signals there. All right, guys, we are all set. 9:11 Eastern time at the moment. If there's anything that we can answer for you and take a look at, here's our list right now. Again, I'm excited about Baba. I liked what's happening there with the pre-market looking good. Lucid, no, needs to get going. Microsoft's got volume, not exciting yet. Apple's got great volume, but again, not doing a whole lot, moving sideways. At the market open, guys, I again, it's just my opinion. I think we might see a little bit of a chop here, especially in the tech sector. Things are down a little bit. Just be patient. Wait for that setup. You might need to wait 5 to 10 minutes today, and that's okay, right? And if you go back and you look at stocks, for example, you know what? We have a little bit of time. Let's go look at Apple. This happens more often than not, right? Let's see here. Here we go. It's a great example right here. If you go back and look at your daily charts, and also you can use the stock trading of replay. We'll send the link out for that. You can go back and replay this stuff. If you wait, look at this, right? What is this? First half hour, just pure chop. Nothing happening. Trying to pop up. Look at the selling down, selling down, selling down. Go to the trading to the replay and check this day out. This would have been on 113, right? Practice here. Just wait. And then look, from there, it does some amazing stuff. Look at this beautiful weakness you're seeing here, right? But you had to get through this first, right? If you're stuck here getting chopped up, you might be done for the day before you get a chance to get into this nice action that you saw after the fact. This right here, guys, happens more often than not, right? So you have to be patient with the stocks, man. Let the setup come to you. Here's Baba. Baba was actually pretty nice there. But if you go back and look at some of these stocks, you're going to see that happen quite a bit. So just be aware of that. Today looks like one of those days where we might have a little bit of chop before we can get going. So recap our list. We have Baba looking very good. Lucid needs to get going.
Before you do that, just a quick reminder over on YouTube. If you would, while you're here, hit that thumbs up, smash the like button. Sincerely appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, all right. It does help us out a whole lot, guys. We're sitting at 172, which is probably a little bit on the lower side. Want to get to 250, 300. We really appreciate it, guys. So thank you so much for helping us there. Apple, good volume there. JP Morgan looks good as well. And Axie, we'll see what it does at the market open. Now, what is the what is it? ATVI? ATVI? Is this doing anything? Yeah, see, it's just not doing a whole lot right now. Crazy volume going through it, but it's just moving sideways. This price action is going to be very difficult to read. So again, just don't get caught in any chop on this thing. EA, on the other hand, EA holding here. EA actually looks more interesting because we're holding here. They're not being bought out. So you can actually get a nice movement out of this one at the market open.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is going to be the one to watch.
Are legit.
Yeah, no, I agree.
The ATVI is garbage. I wouldn't waste the spot with it.
This is the one you want to watch today, guys. Even TTWO, I'm not a huge fan of, but EA does look very, very nice today. I'm going to remove SKLZ. I'm just going to get rid of that. All right, here is Andrew's list, guys. So he is looking at Baba, Roblox, and AMC. And said a couple of sectors here, the Qs, TQQs, Microsoft, and Apple as well on his list there. So excellent, guys. We are all set. 9:15 coming up. Thank you so much for joining the pre-market prep, guys. Appreciate it very much. 247 likes. Thank you, guys. Got us very close at 250. Appreciate you very, very much. Guys, do not forget today's Tuesday, not Monday, but we will have our onboarding class tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then that's going to be followed right by our Tuesday webinar, success webinar tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So definitely join us for that. We will see you later this evening. Take care, guys. Trade safe, and we'll see you tonight.
Take care, guys. Trade safe.